Hello, two birds and two bets. This is Dave Dixon. I live up in Northern California and I'm a pool designer. I had talked about on one of my videos about having a bad review, and it actually ended up costing us a job, and then it also cost us a lead where a person didn't want to get an estimate from us because of this bad review. And what the review had to do with was a plaster, we call it modeling, where it's a variation. Plaster comes to us white in color, so to make it any other color, you have to add color to it. You can't make like one gigantic batch of it because the mixer wouldn't hold one batch, so you have to make it in a series of batches. Let's just say 7 or 8, and so there'll be slight variations because we're not measuring it with a super accurate way of measuring. And then depending on when you put it on and what time of the year you put it on, that plaster will cure at a different rate. For instance, if the sun is shining onto one side, and say it's a south-facing backyard, then you'll notice that on the north side of the pool, that will be lighter in color than the south side of the pool. Because if it's a south-facing backyard, the south side of the pool will always be shaded. And then the other part of the pool, the north side, will get full sun on it, during the curing process. So you add the color, you put the plaster in there, and then it's going to take about 16 hours to fill it with a water hose. And during that period of time, you can't stop the water. It has to continually be filling it up. If you do stop it, like say midway, then what will end up happening is that the water below that will cure at a slower rate than the dry part of the plaster above it, and it will leave a ring all the way around the pool. I remember one time, a long time ago, we had done a pool in Stockton, the Venetian Bridges area, I remember, and we plastered the pool. It was a Tahoe blue, so it had color put in the mix, and we wrapped the hose with a t-shirt so that the water's not coming out strong, and then they put it down into the deep end of the pool, and so then the water will just slowly be coming up, and you want to keep that running, and don't let it stop. So for some reason, we don't know what the reason was, but their 15-year-old son came home and he saw that and he thought, well, that's really cool. So he grabbed the water hose and he pulled it all the way to the shallow end. So that way he'd see like a little river going down, to the deep end. And sure enough, when it cured, it had like a little river right down the middle of his pool, because that was curing at a slower rate than the rest of the pool. And it looked pretty bad. So that's what we had our bad review about, was this modeling of the plaster. So the owner had gone ahead and put a Pebble Sheen product in there, which is a big upgrade. It's normally like a $5,000 upgrade, and he did it for free. And but nobody ever asked that the customer to put a better review on there. So what they did after I talked about it and said it had to be done a certain way is they went ahead and became a member of Yelp. So this is kind of a weird thing that not a lot of people know about, but if you're not a member, it can take you a long time to get these reviews either buried or resolved. I mean, you can complain to them, but they'll get around to it when they get around to it. So in the meantime, the reviews can be looking really bad. In this case here, he never had put a positive review on there, even though he loved the company after we did that free thing for him. So when you join Yelp, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be $700 to $800 a month you pay as a company, and then really what it does is just give you their full attention. So if you have issues or reviews or bad reviews or something that you want to dispute, now you're able to talk to somebody, and they can even make suggestions. And some of the suggestions they had made was, when the business is transferred from the old man, my boss, to his son, who's 60 years old. The son is 60 years old. Well, there were some reviews from years and years and years ago that had never, or that had been resolved but not taken care of, that same type of thing. Just nobody ever thought about taking care of it. And they were like, well, this isn't even with the same business. These can be deleted because that was under a different license. So the owner's like, yeah, well, delete them then, so that's what they did. And you get this benefit, being a member of Yelp and basically paying a fee, so there's some guys that are terrible pool builders, but that's what they do, is they pay the Yelp fee, then they'll get somebody to help manage their Facebook accounts, and they can either bury them with good reviews, or they can dispute them, and sometimes even when they dispute them, they'll hold them rather than people can view them. So, unfortunately, it's all about the money. That's what it comes down to. And it's another way of being able to manipulate the market. You like to think that these reviews are all, pristine and everything, but we've actually caught other salesmen reviewing our pools and putting bad reviews on our website. It sounds terrible that somebody would do that, but that's exactly what happens sometimes, because they'll say, well, this is Kenny somebody in Tracy, and we can't find a Kenny somebody in Tracy. Then they go back to the originating internet number, and they can find out that no, that's not even from Tracy. That was inputted in Sacramento. So that's the frustration of being in business, the competition, and things like that. And so some of the reviews that I've seen in the past were not even created by customers, but created by other salesmen trying to harm the company. In the old days, it was still just as bad. I remember I was always told to always call your customers 30 minutes ahead of time to make sure that your appointment is confirmed. And I had a scenario for a while there where I was getting calls into the office, and they said, hey, your 6 o'clock appointment on Thursday is being canceled. They just wanted to let you know. And I was like, that's really weird, because I thought that was a really good appointment. And so I would call them right away, and just to find out, verify, and say, hey, is our appointment still going to be good on Thursday? And they said, yeah, it's definitely good. Yeah, we're ready to meet with you. And I go, okay, I just wanted to verify it. And what we come to find out was the salesman from another company would say, well, when are you meeting with Dave? Oh, we're meeting with him on Thursday at 6 o'clock. So then now they'd be able to say, well, this is so-and-so from Roseville, and they'd have the customer's name. And they say, we have a 6 o'clock appointment with Dave on Thursday, and we want to cancel it. And so that's how I found out about it, that they were even doing this. They were great customers, and all of a sudden, I don't show up on Thursday at 6 o'clock. I don't call. I don't say anything. And you can imagine how they feel about me trying to reset up an appointment. So those are the tricks and things that go on in this industry that you have to be careful about. So always confirm your appointments. That you've got to do that. And then the second thing, which I've said in other videos, but I've said it to numerous salesmen when I was helping them, training them, is that when you confirm an appointment, make sure you have plenty of time. Like I have an appointment today at 1 o'clock, and it's just for a plot map and giving them an HOA papers. But I'll call them about an hour ahead of time, and I'll actually be on the road by then. And I'll probably leave about an hour, a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes. It only takes me about 45 minutes on a good day, but sometimes you run into traffic. So I always leave a little early. If I get there a little early, it's not a big deal, but you don't want to be late. If you are going to be late, you want to call them and you want to let them know, hey, whatever, I'm stuck in traffic, whatever your excuse is, but you want to make sure you're in contact with them. And that way, at least you have a fighting chance, that you're going to be good. And then my saying that I always tell the young guys is when you set an appointment with a person, it has to be really, really important in your mind. You cannot call these people up 30 minutes before your appointment and say that you can't make it. Or, you definitely don't want to say anything like, well, I have another person to sign up or something like that. There's no easy way to tell somebody you just don't care about their lead. So when you set up these appointments and you confirm them to go out there, there's only two reasons you don't show up. And the first reason is you're either dead, or the second reason is, or you're dying. Those are the only two reasons you can have for not showing up to these appointments. Now, obviously, there's always situations you forget the appointment, or you have to go to the hospital, or one of your family members going to the hospital. But you got to let people know as soon as you know. And if they can accept that, great. If they don't accept that, well, then it wasn't in God's will to have that appointment. So those are the kind of things you're always thinking about. So anyway, I just want to tell you a little bit about that, about the pool business and how I look at it. And thank you very much for finding me. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll look forward to talking to you guys later. Thank you much, and have a great day.